The music of the spheres. The music arced higher and higher until it soared past the two pillars that marked the gateway to this universe. Then the music of the spheres began a graceful curve, full of celestial resonance, spiraling into infinity. Fainter and fainter it became until that moment of return. Now it sounded different, containing traces of otherworldly melodies as it came closer. Louder it came, pulled once again towards the gravity of the earth until it anchored there with an endearing sweetness which washed over and through its listener while dissolving all barriers to her unshed tears. Then the tears fell in a relentless flood. They were the tears of tears that had long been held back by discipline and denial. Tiandra cried and cried from that lost place, and it seemed as if the crying would never cease. Soon she realized that her tears were but the rain. She rained and rained, experiencing one of the most perfect forms of release. Absolutely surrendering to it, she let go completely. In the letting go and in the flow of the music which surrounded her, Chandra finally knew peace. The pain stopped. The dizzy screaming, throbbing pain simply let go and was no more. The beautiful Alora stood by her side ever so patiently, radiating her starry presence with golden beams of dancing light. Monitoring Leandra, she carefully noted each nuance of what the woman was experiencing. At last, when the storm had long ceased, the high priestess touched Leandra lightly upon her forehead with a crystal of purest azurite. Leandra's breathing slowly began to even out. Then her eyes opened, still wet with tears, she knew not where she was. Looking fully into Alora's starry orbs, which contained the infinity of space, she began to cry once again. Alora leaned forward and gently taking Leandra's hand in hers, kissed her forehead. "Don't try to speak yet, Leandra," Alora said firmly. "I am Alora, whom you have known since the beginning. You have returned to your homeland of Aztlan." She spoke one of the secret names for Atlantis, knowing that it would have greater impact to penetrate Leandra's unconscious. "You must be very quiet, and allow your senses to awaken gently." Leandra nodded weakly and closed her eyes once more. The music awaited her still. She could see the stars rotating and shimmering, the whole universe turning an accompaniment to this wondrous music. Sinking deeper into the all-encompassing sounds, she felt her entire being drifting gently through the vastness of space. Chandra followed the notes of a flute which gracefully glided through the labyrinth of twisting constellations. Her entire world pulsated and turned, yet she lost not the flute sound and let them guide her back. Back to where? She heard herself thinking. Back home, came her answer. Which home? She inquired. Your home on planet Earth, her mirror self replied. Where is my home? questioned she, in an etheric voice sounding so extremely detached and far away. Aslan, replied herself, albeit a different self. This one seemed to know more than that other part of her. Who am I? The question bubbled out from the bottom of an aqua sea. She saw iridescent fish swimming through the churning, foaming mist of bubbles and undulating underwater plants. Don't you know? Don't you know? Don't you know? Echoed her answering smart self. No, I'm not, said meekly. I know, she answered confidently. Who am I then? Please tell me. I'm getting so confused, she pleaded. Not yet, not yet, not yet. You must rest first, repeated the reply. I must know. Who am I? She was floating further and further away. The song of the flute was fading into the distant wave. Deandra, we are she, the voice exclaimed, with authority. Ah, Deandra, I have heard that name before, she said softly in a voice filled with wonder. Deandra followed the flute. It was only to where it belonged, she ordered herself. As Deandra floated through the shifting heavens, she searched for the flute zone. It was just here. Now, when it disappeared to, I must not lose it, she thought. Then she caught a knob drifting lazily by her on a shelf of silver moonlight. Reaching out her hand, she grabbed onto it, and it pulled her along, skimming through the waves of the sky. More notes appeared until she could again discern the melody clearly. She held on to the music and let it take her with it until she experienced a startling jarring sensation and feeling of being locked into a tight space from which she was not allowed to escape. Relax now, let it be. This is the place in which we belong, her other self explained. So Deandra lay back and tried to settle in and find comfort within this confining form. She searched for the feeling of limitlessness within its limits. Deandra, she was being called again. This time there was a sense of urgency. How very strange this all is, she thought. Deandra, open your eyes, the voice softly commanded. What are eyes? She wanted to ask. But before she could fully form the question, she answered, you know what eyes are? You cannot go back out there into infinite space. It is no longer locked. You must remain here in your body, Deandra. Open your eyes. Slowly, with great effort, Deandra once again opened her eyes. They were so heavy that it took a large amount of concentration and willpower to get them open. Light flooded in, making her blink rapidly in protection from its glare. In her instant of openness, she saw that she was not alone. A man and a woman stared at her intently. Who are those people? She wondered. Alora reached for her hand and reassured her. I'm Alora. This is Dr. Zed. We have returned to the continent of Atlantis. Oh, yes. I almost remember, spoke Deandra. In a one voice as she closed her eyes and returned to sleep. Alora glanced sharply at Dr. Zed. Well, what do you think? She asked him. Much better than I had expected, he replied in even measured tones. However, she is obviously having difficulties retrieving her memory. She is also reluctant to remain in her physical body, which is understandable due to the pain that she has experienced. This will improve with time, now that the pain has left her. We can also assume that most of her supernormal abilities have been severely damaged. Do not allow yourself to be saddened by her condition, Laura. It's far better than I believe possible. Dr. Seth's voice was warm with compassion. Laura nodded mutely in agreement, her lovely, highly attuned, otherworldly face shadowed by her loving concern. She knew well that she could not waste her energy mourning what had not been lost, but must instead be grateful and work with what remained. Deandra was alive, and she lived without him. Thus it was for Deandra. As the years passed by in Atlantis, she was cared for by the sisters of the Temple of Coraline. Most of her days were spent on the shoreline, gazing at the distant western horizon of the great ocean. The seabirds grew so used to her presence that they became tame and would sit by her feet and on her shoulders. She learned to speak to them in their own language. We can only wonder what they communicated to each other. Fishermen began bringing the sick and injured birds to her, and in her own special way she would heal them and set them free. Diana's full memory never returned, nor did most of her conscious knowledge of the mysteries until this present age. She spoke not of Balthazar or Lemuria nor of her past. She turned increasingly inward in focus, emanating a soft, silvery light. It was as if she lived within another dimension, a world that knew not pain or absence of love. She found great solace in observing the rising and falling of the waters of the great ocean. In truth, much of her consciousness had returned to her home, the great domed city of Talum, floating within the currents of her watery planet of Orion. But that is for another story. After a few years, Yandra withdrew herself yet further from temple life and was not heard to speak again to another human. The enchantment. The giant condor circled high above them. Every feather upon him could be perfectly delineated due to the clarity of the air at this high altitude. Far below, his shadow played delicately upon the bleak landscape surrounding the temple complex at Tivako. There were few trees to provide shade from the sun's relentless strange blue rays, which seemed to radiate simultaneous warmth and cold. Amidst the unending starkness, the shimmering blue waters of Lake Titicaca provided the sole note of freshness against mammoth mountains of bluish green. Balthazar and Solana stood on its shore lazily casting nets for the small silver fishes which darted about its watery depths. They knew not how much time had elapsed since they had first arrived in Tivaco. In this place time did not exist in the usual sense. It could have been a short while or many years. Neither of them could measure it with any degree of accuracy, although both of them had tried. Tivaco lived in a reality separate from the rest of the known world. Alcatraz seemed strangely content here. He no longer mentioned to Solana their mission to Atlantis. It was as if he had stepped out of the world and did not want to be reminded of it. He had grown quite close to the woman Mura and often shared her bed. She had long been involving him in numerous occult rituals and initiation into strange practices. As always, Solana observed Alcatraz carefully and said little. A curious detachment was building between the two of them. Solana was deeply concerned for his friend, who seemed to lose himself more and more as he allowed Mura to assume control over him, oblivious to where it might lead. Hence Solana watched and waited, searching for the clues he needed in order to fully understand the nature of the energies that will manifest here. He still distrusted the alien woman Mura, seeing her clearly as a powerful sorceress weaving subtle gossamer webs of magic around Alcazar until finally she would take possession of his very soul. But she could speak not of this to Alcazar, knowing well that this would only serve to turn his friend against him. A warning can only be effectively received when one is ready to hear it. Thus Solana maintained an air of friendly discretion while waiting patiently for the correct instant in which to act. He felt that since they had been here for such a long time, the opportunity would surely come soon. Balthazar pulled in his net, which sparkled with the gleams of several small fish. See, my friend, this is how it is done. Mura will be pleased with us. Solana, you don't seem to have your heart in fusion today. What troubles you? Solana gave his friend a searching look and decided that this might be his chance to speak frankly with him. Balthazar, let us sit for a while. I wish to talk with you. Please spare me some of your attention and I will share my thoughts. The High King sat down upon one of the rock steps which led down into the lake. Upon his face he wore an expression of puzzlement. Speak so and I will listen. Taking a seat beside him, Solana searched for the right combination of words to reach Balthazar. Beginning slowly, he said, we have journeyed together for a long time, my dear brother. Who knows just how many years have passed since the distant morning when we set out from my homeland of Rapa Nui on our great trip to Atlantis. Since we have been in Tibaku, it appears as if time itself has stopped. However, I am sure that in the rest of the world, time surely continues its passing. It is certain that our travels have ceased. Do you remember that we were empowered by my priest in Rapa Nui to go to Atlantis? I still carry upon me the messages that I was asked to deliver to the Brotherhood of the Seven. My people entrusted me with this important task, Alphas, and I am not fulfilling it. They also charged me with the responsibility of taking you safely to Atlantis. I'm not keeping my promises. Maybe now you can understand why my heart is not at peace here, when my duty still lies before me uncompleted. I understand that you are content and wish not to leave. But I know that the day must soon arrive when we go forward once again and discharge our duties. Solana looked at Altazan anxiously, trying to discern his level of receptivity to what had been said. What think you of my words? Altazan sighed deeply. This conversation made him uncomfortable, but at the same time he recognized the truth in it. You are right, Solana, we must leave here some time soon, although I myself do not really wish to go. Solana felt a sense of cautious relief. You can always return here later, after our travels to Atlantis are completed, if that is your desire. Yes, I'm aware of that, but it will not be easy for me to leave Mumura. I have grown strangely attached to her. However, I shall not seek to avoid the part of my duty. I will speak to Mura about this thought in her private chambers. Hopefully she will understand its importance and be understanding. When do you want to depart? Balthazar queried. As soon as possible, why not tomorrow? Answered Solana while thinking to himself, if only she will let us go. Later that evening, in the woman's sleeping chamber, Balthazar lay entwined in Mura's powerful naked limbs, which were wrapped sinuously around him. Long ropes of her heavy black hair coiled around him like many writhing serpents. He had grown used to the solid weight of her body, and the weight that her need to possess him seemed almost devouring. Sometimes he actually felt smothered by her presence, as if fighting for a breath of fresh air. However, now that he had spent so much time with her, he found himself developing a real need to experience the wild sensation of being taken over by her powerful magnetism. It helped him to forget himself and his sorrows. Alcazar stirred himself to speak. My passionate Puma, I need to speak with you. He began hesitantly, wondering why it felt so difficult to inform her of his leave-taking. He remembered that distant day when he had spoken to Gianna of his impending departure for Upper Moon and felt a pang of sweet sadness pulse through his heart. He had not wanted to leave Gianna either, nor should I have, he thought bitterly. But he wondered why it was so hard for him to tell Mura now. Am I afraid of her? He questioned himself. Long ago, when I first arrived in Tibaku, he began anew. Solana and I were on our way to the continent of Atlantis. We had been sent there by our high priest on Rapa Nui. In fact, the very survival of the remnants of all people who survived may well depend on our obtaining some sort of aid for them from the Atlanteans. Instead of fulfilling our duty to the motherland of Lemuria, we have allowed ourselves to be waylaid. Tivaku, although it has been the most pleasing experience here for me. I kissed her on the cheek, not noticing the icy coldness that had settled into her expression. Anyway, the time has come for us to continue our journey. After my task is completed, it is my fervent desire to return here and be with you once again. Altazan glanced at Mora fondly, unaware of the sharp glint of anger in her stormy eyes. Our plan is to leave here tomorrow and travel to the mysterious kingdom of An. I shall miss you greatly, you know. There was silence. It was an ominous silence. The air felt charged with built-up pressure as if a volcano was about to explode. Balthasar searched for what was wrong. Was it something that I had said? He wondered. Suddenly Mura sat bolt upright on the sleeping platform and shrieked. Ha! Leaping up to a standing position, she grew taller and even more imposing as she droned and seemed poison to herself. She growled, you dare, you fool! Who cares about your petty problems? The movie is gone. You will never leave here alive. You are mine. You belong totally to me, and do not ever think otherwise, you stupid fool. No one ever leaves me. No one. I am the last. Tell me, why are you the last, Mora? Why did the rest of your people leave you here alone when they returned to their place of origin? Balthazar asked in a controlled, even tone, masking his surprise at her outburst. Because they accused me of becoming too powerful. They were afraid of me. They didn't think that I was pure enough for them, and they wouldn't allow me to return with them when our work here was finished. They left me here all alone, and they abandoned this place. Now I am stuck here on this wretched planet without my people. Nora's face suddenly changed into a dry bitterness. At the same time, her face was changing rapidly from young to old, beautiful to ugly, to a horrifying alien being that Balthazar had never seen her before. She watched the spectacle calmly, both fascinated and repelled by her. You've been here alone ever since they left you? He inquired with some sympathy. No, you fool, her voice turned mocking. I know how to get myself a man when I need one. If he comes within 100 leagues of Kiwako, I can draw him here with my magic as I did with you. What happened to the other men that you brought here? Where are they? Others asked with a rising sense of dread. They were sent to the parallel dimensions after I had finished with them. Murash snapped, then not in the look of shock and revulsion on Osasa's face, she added, "That look so concerned, my pet. They were happy here with me. I taught them much that they could not have learned elsewhere like you." She smiled at him affectionately. None of them complained. They begged me to possess them like you do, dear officer. I have to heal your pain, don't I? Mura turned herself into a seductress, the most alluring woman he had ever encountered. She began slinking towards him while waves of compelling magnetism encircled his being. Approaching him, she lingered close enough to slowly, sensuously draw one of her long, tapered fingers down his face and chest, shooting thunderbolts of desire flaming throughout all of his senses. "Go away, Aldous," muttered through clenched teeth. "Let me go." He pushed her hand away fiercely. "Aldous, you know that you will never be able to leave me," she poured as she began rubbing her body caressingly against his. Caressingly against his. Then Aldous knew that he had no choice. There would be no escape from this woman. He would not leave Tivaku. He had been caught in a trap of enchantment. He had blindly worked himself right into it. While he understood the purpose of all their strange rituals, they had bound his soul. Finally he could see it all clearly. His awareness had returned, but alas, it was too late. The bonds had already been tightened. He was no longer the keeper of his own destiny. He belonged to her. With a low groan escaping his shattered heart, Wallace forcibly pulled more into his arms and carried her to the sleeping platform.